Hello everyone, the Tuesday drawing class, another beautiful model this time, and let's incorporate a little bit of hands onto the portrait, not only portrait, hand too. So the square of the portrait, square, chin, hand which is holding the face, the lower, the upper arm, wrist, shoulder, neck, you have a shadow, and we have the neck which goes that way. There's an angle to the neck, there's an angle to the upper shoulder, shadow of the chin and face, the whole face in shadow. We've got the eyes here, eyebrow, a nose, side of the face, the cheek, chin, eyebrow, eye. She's looking to her right, eye, and hair. I'm checking here. I'll show you what I'm actually checking now. It's the end of the eye, the tip of the eye. It's at the same line as the tip of the ear. The ear is here. Then we have hair. The neck's darker because of the cast shadow of the head. Hair, hand, as she's holding her face, wrist, now the shoulder, tip of the shoulder is at the same angle or line as the chin. And here from the chin, this is the most outwards point. Here we're going back. Then you have so from this point, you have a very vertical, a perfect vertical line, which aligns with the shoulder here. And then the forehead goes back. And the hair, there you are, and the neck. Bit of I probably have done the shoulder and her, basically her torso a little bit small, but she's petite anyway. She's quite small, or at least looks small here in the picture. And eyebrow, and the lip. Again, the lip is a series of portraits now, which is the lips are almost slightly open there, and the chin, make it a little bit more with a chin, with a more of a let's say prominent chin. It's not as much as that, but I'm doing it because it makes her a little bit more edgy with a chin like that. At least this is how I think. You have the white of the eye, and the eyebrow goes further back. Highlight of the eyebrow, a little bit of a darker tone here with the well, as you can see, I'm using constantly my fingers here. I don't think I need any putty rubber for this one here, at least not now. Here a little bit more inwards, this side of the forehead there, and probably a little bit more wider chin. sorry, cheek, not chin, cheek. Why the cheek? And the eye, just keep the eye, she's looking somewhere away onto her right hand side. So that needs to be, it's a cute look. It reminds me of an actress, a French actress, but don't think it's her. And here, and a little bit of a darker tone, and lighter tone here on the cheek as well. So I'm using the clean parts of my thumb and small finger here to clean up those dark tones, and sometimes unify the dark tones, not only clean them up. And lift up the lip a little bit more. There you are. And now the portrait is a bit blurred. I will admit that. But to be honest, with that little beauty that we have here, I don't think we need a clearer, to have the face clear, let's say, much more zoomed in or crisp. I think it's fine as it is. Now this eye is a lot higher, but also the eyelid of her right eye, it's at the top eyelid of the other eye. So it's here, not top eyelid, it's on that side, on that line here, which is the eyelid, and then you have the other line above the eyelid, and this is where the eyelid of her right eye is. White of the eye, looking away. Ear, it's a bit further back. Neck, a little bit wider. Yeah, I went too dark, too thin with the neck. And a little bit of a, you have the wrist here and the shoulder coming back here. There you are. So I'm trying to shape and put in place the angles, the right angles of everything here. The jaw, which actually is on a horizontal line here, right where the chin up to that point of the jaw, it's a horizontal line. And then you have the palm, then you have that middle tone here of the palm, there, and drop it down like this. We have a light tone, and this is the neck. That's the dark tonal value of the neck, which is, as I said, the cast shadow of the head onto her body. And I think I'll use a little bit of a brush. Now why? Because I've run out of clean fingers, and also brush it's a bit forgivable. You can do mistakes, you can make mistakes here, and then they won't be that harsh. Because also I'm avoiding, by using the brush, I'm avoiding putting the hands oil, the natural oils that we have on our palm. So I'm avoiding those, and that makes the paper that I'm working on, which is canson. If somebody is asking, it's canson paper. It's a regular paper. You can draw in pad. You can find it in Cassard or W.H. Smith if you look for it, or you can order it on Amazon, and it's very readily available. Now a little bit of dust, taking some dust from here, from down here, that I've grinded it with the charcoal, and there. So that, you see, that background that I'm using now here allows me to, instead of using the putty rubber to brighten up the side of the hand, I'm darkening the background. And if I darken the background, leave it this way, then I don't need to use putty rubber here. And also end of her nose, eye, as we said, tear duct a little bit further up, tear duct. And I think the ear needs to move back a bit. Yes, definitely, because I think I've got it too close. So move the ear. We said, do you remember? Line, end of the eye, goes right at the top of the ears. And then the ear, I'm moving it further away from the head. Give it a bit more space here. And that will allow me to grow the chin. The jaw, sorry. Darker tone. There. Okay, so it gives a nice can I use a word here? Ambience? Yes, I think. I mean, it's not specially used on models, but the look of a way and that relaxed state just creates an ambience, doesn't it? I think so. And again, I'm trying to darken the background here. That will give me more room to maneuver with the putty rubber. Instead of using it constantly, I can get away with as less as possible using putty rubber. Now, have you noticed that I'm working straight from the portrait, in the sense that I'm copying what I'm seeing, and I didn't do the skull because I really like that nude part here, and I think that's valuable as well because it's half nude and half portrait. So that's a lesson for upper body, let's say. So it's valuable for both features, portrait or both parts of the body, portrait and upper torso. Now that's a very, very, very soft tonal value here. That's why I'm using it. I'm using the, now here again, the same thing. I'm repeating myself, darkening the background. This way, you won't need to use a lot of putty rubber. And as I said, gives kind of a nice ambience. Okay. Now here I'm going way too dark on the neck, and that makes it actually is a very bad shadow here. So I'm trying to make it a little bit more artistic, more rendered. There. And here is where upper shoulder separates from the torso. And here we have normally the breast, but we cannot see because of the picture. It's been cut there, and I think that is why so it's very attractive. It leaves you wondering about the body, and you see the face, and so it's a very romantic picture. And a little bit of a shadow here, upper tonal value, forehead, the eyebrow, and this eyebrow is going to long, so I need to cut it, make a distance, create a distance. Okay, now I think I'm going to use putty rubber now. That's it. Now I need more putty rubber. Okay, now putty rubber. Time for some interventions here. Now a little bit more forward. I think I entered too much onto the right. Now a little bit more to the left. That gives me, we need to adjust basically all these mid-tones that I've done, because they are good, most of them, but some of them are not where they need to be, and that gives a different look to the portrait, obviously. A little bit more of a chubby chick. Not because she's chubby, she just needs that more of a rounded face right here. And I think I need to bring, I'm sure now, I need to bring higher, sorry, those mobile phones. I need to bring higher the nose. It's quite low. And some cutting, here, there. And I'm checking on a vertical line, tip of the nose goes here, tip of the nose comes right here. There. And cute lips, end of the lips on the right is just above, so on the right here, that's where the lip ends. It's on the tear duct here. But I'm not going to use a putty because that's too powerful, and I'm using my fingers here. Sorry, I need to lower the voice here. No, it's not the voice, it's notifications. Cannot do much about that. God, notifications. Okay, not much I can do unless I switch it off completely. Okay, now here, the cheekbone, again, not using putty, rubber, fingers, and also I'm sculpting with the fingers, like a sculptor would do, sculpting with my fingers. See what I'm doing? I'm dipping my finger onto the putty, taking most of the dirt or charcoal. It's not really dirt, it's just charcoal. And then cleaning up this one here. There. And pushing the nose a little bit. I'm taking away the phone from me. I'm charging, that's why I see it. Like, take away from the phone. Okay, take away the phone. And I'm sculpting here with my fingers. And a little bit more white of the eye, higher actually. Lifted the nose, lifted the lips now, and a little bit more of a lighter tone in between here. There you are. And I think I can get away with a little bit more of a rounded chin here. And don't forget the fingers. We cannot see them, but we can suggest some fingers here and get rid of that darker tone, or leave it. That dark tone I had it previously, but I'm leaving it. I think it's good as it is. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just serves it just gives the impression that it needs to give. You have the knuckle here, there, so a little bit more of an angle where the knuckle bone is. Another one there. Another one right here, and I'm going to give her more teeth that I actually see on the original, and the original is quite blurred. Look, like that. That's enough. And I'm not going to brighten up the lips, because if I brighten up the lips I would compete with the teeth. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to brighten it with my finger instead of with putty rubber. And then lips, teeth there. And a little bit more of a lighter tone up here. Bit of a nostril. And here I can do some tricks and restrict the hair where it needs to be. There. Doesn't have to be finished, doesn't have to be cleaned, because we're not doing a medical procedure here, it's just drawing. And a little bit less dark. Actually more dark right here, but less dark there. So more dark under the jaw and less dark right at the edge of her neck. And a soft turn there. And a little bit of a earlobe. Now, I think the eyes, I'm not getting the eyes right. Why? Because I need her to look right onto her right even more, and give her a little bit of a shiny on the eyes there. So I'm trying to give her that cute look that she has, and a little bit